Comedy for Peace. I established Comedy for Peace 5 years ago. Um, I always wanted to do something with Jewish and Muslim together, some art project. I'm telling it that, I grew up in Israel, and I didn't really had the connection with Muslims or Arabs when I grew up. They mostly served me in restaurants, so I saw them building a building. But in the other hand, I was connected to the culture because I was lucky. My father had a cassette factory when I grew up, so I listened to a lot of Arab music that I liked, and I watched movies and the food, of course, and I actually started to meet people when I started to travel in the world, and the meetings were very friendly with Muslims that we're supposed to be enemies, but well, no, we were very curious about each other. We're very friendly and generous. And I thought to myself that one day I want to do something together. I came to New York, became part of the comedy scene here, met great Muslim comedians, and also Arab Christians, decided to do the first one. They were on board. We did the first show. It was a huge success. More than 250 people came to support us. It was
Wow.
so much fun. So I decided just to keep going. And since then, we did like almost 50 cities and 2 countries. And we keep going. We're starting now a new long tour in the West Coast after the festival. So we're just very excited to do it.
And then what do you think the benefit is for the, fans of comedy, for people who come to the shows, right? What do you think it is for them to see this?
Yeah, always it's important for me to people to know that first of all and before everything, Comedy for Peace, it's great, funny evening of stand-up comedians. I'm working with wonderful, talented people because this is serving for us the main cause of Comedy for Peace because this is not a political event.
Mhm.
It's not about Israel, Palestine, or any other war zone in the world. It's about being together under one roof and having fun, just to show people how easy that can be to sit there, to have fun, to laugh, to learn about each other, to understand how we are more alike than different.
Mhm.
And this is, I think, the benefit that people can understand that doesn't matter if somebody is different than me. I can just sit near him and still enjoy very much.
And then, so you did the shows before October 7th, and then you did the shows after October 7th. How has that sort of changed the tenors, kind of? Has the type of humor changed? Are more people interested in it? It's obviously kind of a different landscape.
Yeah, of course, October 7 was a big shock, big tragedy, and that brought with him also a lot of confusion, what to do, what not to do. And on one hand, there was few shows that immediately was canceled. People didn't want to deal with it. Was supposed to fly and to do all kind of
Mhm.
events, and we didn't. There are organizations like in Boston that they kept it, so we did one by the end of October. We had the festival first appearance last year, and we didn't know what to do. I didn't feel right to start to promote a comedy
Mhm.
show under those circumstances. But then 2 weeks before the show, we decided to go for it. And it's just, I don't know, to do something for hope.
Yeah.
And everybody helped and promoted, and we did television, and more than 150 people came, and it was such a beautiful evening. And in general, the tool of comedy the last year really saving my soul.
Hmm.
It's so hard. There's so many tears and so much pain, and then to go in the evening and bring people together and make them laugh. And for your question, it's we're not really talking about the what happened.
Hmm.
There are all kind of stories. Even me have few stories around that connected, but it's not connected one to one. Again, it's not a political event. We're not touching the subject. There's not many things to laugh about it. It's a big tragic for the Middle East, for the people that involved. But there are still a lot of humor, good humor, and things that for me now, it's just more important than ever. And it got even more meaningful and we have more desire to keep going and to do it everywhere possible, and to go against so many haters out there that spreading hate from both sides, and want to, that we won't see each other, won't talk with each other, and to show that there is a different way. So for me, it became much more important.
So the humor, and I've seen, clips of the show. So it's not necessarily, I hear what you're saying. So it's not that there's jokes about obviously October 7th or anything like that. I kind of just got the gist that the humor in terms of it being Jewish comedians and in Muslim communities, they're kind of making fun of themselves and each other like how they would have before October 7th. I feel it's sort of like how you see comics, whether they could be Italian, whether they could be another ethnic group, they kind of make fun of their own sort of stereotypes, right? Like you'll have somebody like a Sebastian Manicluso, right? He'll just make fun of his Italian father, right? I kind of feel it's a little bit that sort of humor, a little bit. When they're making fun of that. That was sort of the gist I got. And you can correct me. Do you know what I mean? If I'm wrong, it's not necessarily
Yeah,
it's not attacking any of the events in that sense of being political. Like just watching it, one of the comedians was like, "Okay, I'm Muslim. This is what my mom is like," or it's like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
I'm Jewish. My mother is such a Jewish mother. She's always on top of me." It's sort of that type of humor.
It's yes, yes and no. In
Yeah,
one way, it is because we are dealing with our mothers in our life, and you discovered during the show that the Egyptian mother and my mother are the same one.
yeah,
So I think it is important, and it's funny. There is a lot of subjects around it. There are few comedians, including me, that touching the subject, but in a different way. Like for me now, as an Israeli, we are in certain situations, we are afraid to say where we are from.
yeah, of
So
course.
when I found myself in Birmingham, Alabama, with an Egyptian Uber driver, and immediately because he's from Egypt, I'm saying few words in Arabic,
Yeah,
and I didn't even I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, and he started to ask me where I'm from, and he asked me, "You are from Lebanon, you are from Jordan." I'm telling him, the area, So there is anxiety around. Jokes that connected to anxiety around those situations. So we are touching it. And I think the humor, I don't know if, not all the comedians are connected to October 7 exactly
yeah,
like I do. I live it every day, what's going on in Israel with my people, the last few months I met all over the world, Lebanese and Syrians and Palestinians, and we had some wonderful, conversation. So today, if we're worried, so my wife asking me, ask our friend from Krakow, our Lebanese, his family is okay, So I'm texting, we are concerned about everything. So not
yeah.
every comedian is exactly experienced that, even is Jewish American or Muslim American, exactly like I do. What we are doing when we are traveling, we're doing a Q&A in the end. And we're talking about our connection, the project, and we're asking for questions from the audience. So that part changed a little bit because people are more curious, but also people that coming to us are not haters. They are supporting the cause from the beginning. So they're just curious, how we doing, how we connecting, what changed, what didn't change. And there are things that change between the people in the group, and there are people that don't want to do the show anymore, and the people that also I thought that I have good connection with them that ghosting me and don't want to speak with me since the war started. I didn't change. I just maybe more sad and more concerned.
Mhm.
But so it's dynamic. So things did change, but we keep doing our sets and develop them.
And then, do you think comedy has the ability to bring people together, to help make peace and really to unite people?
Yeah, and to make real peace, it's a big word. But absolutely, comedy, it's much more, I believe it's much more than only jokes. It's really, we had this term, my wife and I, we started to use it. We call it uh, like corridor, a humanitarian corridor for the soul,
Hmm.
because it is. a tool that's bringing together completely strangers and with good people that know what they're doing. You made them one group for, after 10, 15 minutes, we are one group and we going there for 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, and we can clean our minds. And those cliches that how healthy it's to laugh,
Yeah.
but it's true. It's true. I'm telling you, I'm saving myself almost every night on stage because it's just fun to laugh and to make others laugh and to see people enjoying and expressing themselves. So to bring the peace in the world, I don't know, but to change few minds every show and to send back the Muslim guy to his community when he knows a little bit more about the Jewish people that he never met or never asked a question or never, and look at them in more human way. And to next time you will hear some anti-Semitism comment and he said, hey guys, maybe we should
Hmm.
not speak like that, and vice versa with Jews and Muslims. Jews are also afraid from Muslims. We need to meet, we need to talk, because when we need a talk, and of course if we're laughing, it's the best. So in that way people are just more relaxed and more open. And I love those shows that in the end the crowds from the different communities taking pictures together and with the comedians. So we're not changing the world, but we're changing slowly every
Yeah.
night something.
All right. Maybe we should send you to Qatar or something. You should be one of the negotiators. We'll have better luck, maybe.
Listen, maybe I've been in Qatar, by the way, for the
Yeah.
World Cup. Yeah, it was interesting, weird experience almost 2 years ago. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need any negotiation. We need one comedian. I don't
Hmm.
know if me, but I don't know, Seinfeld or something to the.
Something like that. There's an episode I always think of, a brief diversion on the TV show Friends, where the character Phoebe, Lisa Kudrow, she became a
Yeah,
masseuse, a massage therapist, and her big plan was to give UN delegates massages outside the United Nations headquarters here. And to
yeah.
her, she was like, "No, that's the key to world peace, just to have calm UN diplomats." So maybe it's
It's
comedy.
so true because first of all, everything is so intense. Add to it what's going on now in America and with the Ukraine, and there is 52 war zones now in the world,
Yes.
including 96 countries. So I think if people were first of all relax and understand we are for limited time on this earth, and maybe we can have different ways to solve it without this crazy violence, because okay, they kill them, we kill them, we kill
Hmm.
back. It's never ending circle, and there are people that are trapped in that. And I think people like us in Comedy for Peace and many other good causes and good people trying to from the sense say, hey guys, okay, but maybe let's breathe for a second and understand that you know there is much more alike than different. The basic needs of all of us, it's exactly the same.
Yeah. And are there ever any hecklers at any of the shows or no?
No, in the shows, no. We had things that kind of happening behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and it started a few years ago. There was a few times that they were connected. People were connecting our Muslim comedians and asked them not to do it.
Yeah.
Came stronger since October 7. A big group of the Muslim comedians, the Arab Christian comedians, were bullied and shamed online
Oh,
on
really?
Instagram for doing comedy for peace show, because my background, because I'm an Israeli. So if they're
Yeah.
collaborating with me, so we are making the government of Israel. And most of them, it was very touching. And I apologize to each one of them personally. And they
Yeah.
basically said, you did nothing wrong. And don't worry about it. And also I understand, they have their own community. There is a circuit, Arab circuit comedy, people making a living.
Yeah.
People that spoke with me and explained to me that we love you and we love the idea, but now we cannot do it, I respect.
Hmm.
People that just ghosting me and disappeared and suddenly they are, hey, I don't know, I'm the big evil, so it's hard for me
Yeah.
to accept it.
I can imagine. I mean, that was actually my next question was sort of what's been the response from the overall comic community, and
Yeah.
then a response from like a if there's a Jewish comic community, and yeah, and then you sort of said a bit of an Arab comic community.
Yeah, there is Arab community. Listen, it depends. I'm pretty sure that there are many people, Jewish people, that also don't like what I'm doing,
Hmm.
that I'm collaborating with Muslims, and they didn't like it before October 7th, they don't like it now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I'm suffering in something they don't book me to their shows, and don't bring me
Yeah.
to their events. And but this is who I am. And this year, I think it's even I discovered more about because who I am and what I really
Yeah.
want to say, even if it's sometimes not comfortable, not for others, and also not for me. But but the other end, I have to be focused on the good, on the mission, what I want to achieve, what I want to say, and not to put so much, energy or bad feelings about those people because they have their reasons, and I'll keep going and try to do what I can. And other than that, people are supporting. I've got a lot of people. Yeah, yesterday we've been in CBS News in the
Mhm.
morning, and I got tons of messages, and people really proud, and people around us, and we'll keep going. And
Yeah. And
people
you have no
volunteer.
difficulty finding comics, right? There's always comics, Muslim comics, Jewish comics, the Christian comics, eager to be a part of this, right?
Yes. Now, yeah, I'm all the time. Even before October 7, I was always curious to look for new talent to bring to the show. And my wife and I went a few times to the Arab Comedy Festival. I was definitely the only Israeli in those events. I enjoyed, saw new talented people. There's so many comedians, David, everywhere. It's so on the rise, and it's really, So I am in touch with new guys and new ladies, and
Yeah.
trying to introduce them to the project and to find the best of them to keep doing the best shows we can.
Is there anything like this in Israel, actually? Like, have you ever done this in Israel, or is this someone else doing something like this in Israel? Or,
I don't know exactly about Israel. I know in the past there were all kind of projects. I think
yeah.
for the Jewish and the Palestinian, they were traveling, and I think things like that have been done in the past, and hopefully will continue to happen. And all kind of things. There is, in films there are collaborations, in
Yes.
theater, and also in stand-up comedy. My dream and my next goal is to bring it to Europe, and also I hope to Israel when the
Hmm.
time will, when they'll be ready for that.
Because I definitely think, and then just to wrap this up, is that I definitely think that there's been less kind of interfaith initiatives since October 7th, is the reality. Because I was at something a few months ago, and then the rabbi of one, it was an event related, I think, to October 7th or Holocaust remembrance. And it was the rabbi at one of the large synagogues here, whether it was Park East or Central Synagogue. And sort of surprisingly, the rabbi said and admitted was that there's been a massive decrease in interfaith dialogue, interfaith events that he's
Yeah,
noticed as a rabbi. Like like this rabbi, like I said, I can't remember unfortunately which synagogue, but it was one of the major Manhattan ones.
yeah,
And he said that there was a marked decrease, like crazy. You know what I mean? Like that. He just stopped hearing things.
yeah.
So, and
This is
that's
very
actually
sad to hear.
something, a
Yeah,
story that I've been looking to do. So actually, that's why this is great to do to hear this, because I've been looking for something like this that wasn't necessarily, how to say this, fringe, so to speak, because you could have Jewish and Muslim, I feel, initiatives, but they're
yeah,
not always as kind of mainstream, to be honest with you.
yeah.
So that's why I think that's what makes this so interesting, so incredible.
Thank you. And we are in the festival because we're here. We have group in the East Coast, the West Coast. So for the festival, we're doing a special edition with Muslims, with Arab Christians, with Christians,
Hmm.
with Hindu comedians.
Hmm.
We're really trying to do it just a celebration of religion and good laughs.
Hmm.
This is what we're gonna do this Saturday, November 9, the comic strip live, and you're gonna be our guest, and
Yes.
we're gonna do hopefully a lot of fun together.
That's
Uh,
great. Okay, so tell us everywhere it's going to be in the story, but tell us one more time. So this Saturday, where and when?
Yeah, so it's November 9, 8 p.m. at the Comic Strip Live in the Upper East Side. And you can find the tickets for it in Eventbrite and or in my website, erikangel.com, Eric with K.
You got it.
Or, of course, Comedy for Peace
Comment with you.
website. Everywhere, basically. We
Yes.
are social. It's very easy. If you want to come to
Yes.
the show, you're going to find us.
Yes. Yes.
And
All
there
right.
is beautiful lineup from great comedians from our East, East, how do you call it? East Coast group,
Yes.
and everybody's welcome. And don't worry, it's not about politics. Nobody's gonna single you out. It's just gonna be. Last year it was so beautiful. Last year when it started, it was 4 weeks after Torbes. I started to cry. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
that almost 200 people came to support that. 2 weeks before we had 4 tickets sold, and I
Wow.
thought I'm going to be there alone. And there were so many people, and it became such a special evening
Yes.
that you will understand that it is more than just a comedy
And
show.
this is going to have Jewish, Muslim, and there's going to be Christian as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it's
Can
going to
we
be
make?
Arab Christians and Catholic
Yeah.
Christians and also Hindu. We have an Hindu comedian this
Oh,
time, and
cool. Oh,
Jews,
wow.
of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, you got the whole thing. All right, Eric, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak. I'm
Oh,
very
thank you.
excited to attend. I will see you on Saturday night, and I'm looking forward to it. Again, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and thank you and all the best.
All right, thank you. I'll talk to you soon.